Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Back with another video. It's funny how some things trigger memories and just make you start to think about some shit, especially when you're older. I feel like now that I'm 50, I'm starting to do that. Gosh, man. Remember back in the day when way too often, like we always do it. I feel like now that I've hit that mark, I'm in my bag with that way back in the day shit, and I don't know how to feel about that. For real, I don't know. What's wrong with me? Not that old, y'all. Anyway, speaking of not that old, so I saw a picture online before I went to work that was saying back in 1987, when Lethal Weapon came out, Danny Glover was 41 years old. And that Donald Glover is now 42, a year older than what Danny Glover was when that movie first came out. And that shit just hit me really hard because I've been sitting here goddamn, Lethal Weapon is almost 40 years old, y'all. The movie's almost 40 years old. Can you believe it? That's crazy as fuck. I was 12 when that shit came out. Well, I turned 12 the year it came out. That's wild. The second thing was, damn, did Danny Glover really look old as shit in that movie? And they mentioned the famous line, "I'm too old for this shit," what he would always say, throughout the movie, his character. Because his character was supposed to be at the brink of retiring. And yeah, he looked like he was at the brink of retiring from police work, to be quite honest. Now, here's the thing about that to me, because look, y'all know how it goes. We generally don't look our age as African Americans. We tend to look, we always get the, gosh, I would have never thought you were that old and shit like that, I'm sure Danny Glover wasn't getting that back in the day. Now, here's the thing that's really crazy if you think about it, though. And I have a theory to this. Since we used to go off on Danny Glover looking way too old, at the time, that man hasn't, aged that much. His progression in age, it was alright, he hit the look of a 60-year-old black man at the age of 41 and then rested there comfortably for another 20 plus years. Until now, definitely can tell Danny Glover's, older. My theory to that is God watched the movie and he really enjoyed it, but he was bothered by the fact that Danny was looking this old. He was like, nah, I gotta restore your melanin magic, bro. This don't make no sense. You bucking the trend. And, I feel for you. So, I'm gonna put you on hold. You're already at 60. I'm gonna put you on hold. And then once you start to get to 60, you can start to, make the, proper aging adjustments and all of that. Because, yeah, he didn't start looking beyond Lethal Weapon, Danny Glover, until, he started doing all these crazy, one-off, straight to DVD, straight to streaming movies and things like that. Or being in these ensemble casts as the granddad and shit like that. He could play the granddad way before that point. But yeah, man, it's crazy. Childish Gambino, 42. I didn't think he was that old, because again, he don't look that old. And Danny Glover, yeah, had to get help from God because he was like aging too fast. He was disrupting the melanin magic. But that's my rant for this morning. I am about to go park this car. You guys be safe. Hopefully I feel okay. I had throat was horrible most of the day yesterday. I had to call out and I slept most of the day because my throat was hurting. It just feels a little kind of messed up this morning, but not so much as yesterday. But I'm good enough to get on in here, do my 8 hours, and and hopefully over the weekend I'll feel much better. And let's not back into anything as we park. Schools, they're about to go to spring break around here, so I've noticed the road changed as buses aren't out. The traffic will be better, and it'll be easier for me to do these because I won't have to concentrate on the phrases, and you won't hear me curse and scream like you usually do while people driving, as you have in this whole building, this whole video, have you? Amazing, ain't it? Anyway, you guys take it easy. God bless. I'll see y'all later. Peace.